Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into Universe of Chinese, and we're going to finish off the August special edition of building up layers of meanings, or a whole diversity of meanings, sharing the same or starting with the same Chinese character. Sheng, and sheng in Chinese originally means life, and you can see a whole slew of meanings that can be derived or can be paired in with other Chinese characters to mean absolutely different things. But the magic of Chinese is if we pare it down, we really look at meaning, how things are connected. You can almost like a dig through of layers of meaning and find essentially they're all pointing toward the same thing. Like life actually means made up from the plant symbol plus the soil symbol. And that's what Chinese use, that the plant is still growing or rooted in the soil. That's the definition of life. And from life, this simple concept, it can extend into meaning like unripe. It means it's still rooted in there. It's not ready for pick. It's not finishing its growing cycle yet, right? So things like that can be further derived or extended. So today we are going to pair with ying. Okay, sheng ying. I cannot believe that I just came across ying, this concept, till now. Never did ying before, but it's one of the most commonly used Chinese character, ying. It's antonym with ruan, which means soft, and ying is hard. So in contemporary, 21st century, software, hardware, right? And Chinese translate as 软件, software, and 硬件, hardware, and 件 is just where, apparently, right? So it's very easy for Chinese to dig through all that many existing Chinese characters and just couple together a new concept to match up to English word. So ying is, because of its hardware, right? It's a commonly seen contemporary use, and of course, ying it has many ways to use in this language. So, talking about repurpose or repackage, Chinese characters are very good at take on new meanings, create new almost identities to the same character. So in this pairing, sheng and ying, you can see raw and hard, right? It can give you already the vibe of what we're talking about here without even know what the definition, the dictionary definition of it. So I think that's the magic of it. As a Chinese native user, even before I fully understand what that is, by looking at first in a context, right, in a story, right, and then you see this expression, you can have a rough idea what it means. And also look at the characters, how it's made up of. Sheng and ying, you have an understanding of that character paired in with other characters before, and in each other type of combinations and meanings before. And now these two come together. And in that context, it's kind of easy for your brain to figure out, to orient, like what exactly that means in that context, given these two Chinese characters. Okay, I hope this is not too abstract, but that's the joy of Chinese. It's not, you don't need to have a big vocabulary. And this is how you express using existing ones and new combinations to create a meaning. Okay, anyways, ying. It's still a little bit of mystery, but I'm doing my best. The left side is shi, means stone. So stone is known as a hard surface, hard to change the shape, pretty stable, right? Inertia material. And the shi, you can see the original Chinese and contemporary looks kind of similar. So this top left screen corner thing in Chinese language icon often used as high ground. You can almost imagine it to be a cliff, right? A high cliff and then a sharp, a precipice. Is it called a precipice? Okay, a sharp drop down of the terrain. And then with this kind of block thing to show, okay, there's something out there on the high ground that you can easily find. And, basically it's an outdoor thing, and it's the kind of a block looking thing you can find near the cliff. What that is stone. Okay, so the right side then becomes a little bit much. You can see just by the connection of characters. Can you tell it's made up of two parts? Because even if it's like a whole mess of all kinds of lines made up of this, but if you look at carefully here, this is not connected. It's intentionally not connected because these are two icons. So the top icon made up of one horizontal line. In Chinese, most likely it means sky. And then there's this big arch thing that means a space, not out there. It's kind of a space with a border, right? And then there is this looking thing that could mean enter. So it's like going. You can see it gets a sharper end. It means kind of entering into something. So my interpretation of that, this is called, pronounced as 饼. In Chinese, we have 甲乙丙, which means A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3. It's Chinese way to say number one, number two, it's a ranking system. And then most likely Chinese would just track down to the top 3, 甲乙丙. And if you wonder what this is for, it's 丁, 甲乙丙丁. So that's how Chinese rank things, right? So 丙 is this C or number 3. And it has a significance in Chinese fortune telling system. It means a transition from when it's, I guess it's kind of corresponding to the late summer, which is the current season, that when it's still hot out there. And so this horizontal line means sky, means represent the sky, the energy from the sun, all that beaming energy out there in the late summer. And then this arch thing means underground, I guess. It's the chill, the cold, the yin and yang, right? So if the yang represented by the sun, and then yin would be something from the earth, right? The coldness, and then there is this entering. So from the cold entering into the sun. So it's that depicting that transition period that the season is going to change. Even if it's hot right now, the coldness is coming. Okay, so that's 丙. Number 3, and also this transitioning of season. Okay, disconnected here, if you notice that, then you can see this as a separate icon, and it's connected together. So this is a 3-finger hand symbol from bottom right of the screen, and specifically, that means your right hand. And then this vertical line plus horizontal line is a tool. Many scholars in a later generation interpret that as a fortune-telling tool. Why you fortune tell so much? Maybe ancient people tried to forecast in their ways a lot, but it could be just in general any type of tool. So in your hand, holding a tool. I guess a tool use is one of the key features of builders or people who make a change to the original natural form. And then there is this transition, or number 3. So I guess transition makes more sense in this context. So change is coming, and the hand with a tool is kind of facilitating this change, right? So the right side, the two icons stack up together in contemporary Chinese, simplified into that, it simply means change. Something is going to change. So I guess you can view it as the change induced by the season, because it's a seasonal change, right? The sun is going to be replaced by the coldness. So yin yang, that's transition. Seasonal is nature's force beyond your control, right? Natural transition, or human constructed, artificial transition. So there are two types of transitions combined together to mean things are going to change. So paired with stone, and how it means hard. My interpretation is because stone is hard to change. It takes a long time, even by nature's force, right, to break a big rock into like crumble it. So it takes a long time of nature's work. And it takes a long time for the handwork, like you have to chisel it with a lot of force and especially trained for it to transform a stone. So I guess this transformation force, either by nature or by human applying to the stone, this pairing make it obvious for language users that it means it's hard to change it because it's hard surface and it's kind of stable material. It's hard to change its original form. So then it becomes this transformation forces paired with stone that make you understand, okay, this is something hard to transform. Therefore, it's hard now. So raw and hard actually applies in the language context. Stiff, 生硬. It actually means linguistically, it's stiff. Means you're kind of being critical to somebody and they're not very sensitive, not very caring in your comments, which is a very Chinese thing to do. And you're just giving out your 2 cents without consideration if that would hurt anybody. And it's kind of shocking to that person. Therefore, it feels sharp, it feels raw, right? And it feels hard surfaced or hard landing of an idea, right? So that in English would be stiff or rigid or harsh sounding. So that's 生硬. If you give out, you didn't do a good job in packaging your message. You just gave it raw form, like spill out whatever you want to say without consideration of your audience. So that's 声音. And I'm using this cute bird. I forgot the name of it, but I definitely saw seeing it in a zoo of this, right in your face, stare at you and give you his or her strong opinion about something without consideration of how you would feel. And it's kind of a, with a spiky hairdo to, dramatize all that sense of like right in your face. Okay, so that's the end of a journey of meandering through the Chinese combinations of starting with 生命、生活、生产、生存、生计、生平、生钱、生意、生机、生态、生物、生化、生肖、生效、生财、生火、生病、生气、生怕、生疑、生厌、生疼、生长、生字、生猛、生铁、生肉、生鲜、生疏、生手、生硬. So all of these started with the same character and then combined with different character. And then they're all lively Chinese expressions commonly used in Chinese. And because it all somewhat attached to life, right? It's related to our livelihood, to our everyday living. So these are commonly used Chinese expressions or phrases. And I'm using the sunflower image, try to give you a sense of, imagine the 生 in the middle, and then it kind of spokes out. It can go into different dimensions simply by connecting with another Chinese character and create the second, combined combo meaning. So I've been enjoying this. I hope you have some takeaway from this, like how Chinese operates. It operates in context. It's a highly contextual language, and that's why I'm loving it. By unpacking it, I feel like I'm getting closer to the truth or the origin of the language. And it's a lot more. I'm not, I don't know, before I started doing this, what I'm heading into, really. It's a discovery journey for me. And I'm going to come up with something new in September, but I've been enjoying this and I hope you do too. All right, catch you into the transcript thinking about one more today with Sophie. See you next.